Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some more Bulls news to discuss over the course of yesterday's news to today. Some returning players coming to the Chicago Bulls, ready for the regular season. We've got some injury updates, and we also have some more news about Lauri Markkanen to discuss today. So without further ado, let's kick off the latest Bulls news in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls latest news video where we discuss the ongoing news for the Chicago Bulls that has occurred today. More solid news to discuss. I know there have been some trade rumors, but those are not going to be talked about in this video because I just don't think anything will happen with those at this time. But before we get any further, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Before I go any further into this video, I do have some quick things that I want to talk to you guys about. First things first, I really want to do a NBA Q&A type video for this channel. Now, I know that that is something that I think a lot of people would like, and also it brings a lot more interaction to this YouTube channel, which, to be fair, there is very, very big interaction on this YouTube channel. But just to get more interaction as much as I possibly can, I would really like to do a Q&A, whether it's the Bulls or NBA, or maybe even just personal questions if you guys want to ask those about, you know, my life and stuff. But what I plan to do, at least for this video, I'm going to leave a pinned comment. If I remember how to do that, I will put a pinned comment asking for questions for a future video. Now, of course, if there are no questions that will be asked, then of course that video will not happen. But if there are enough questions being asked, then I will try to make that video in the course of time. We need to keep things very unique, keep things very creative throughout this regular season, because there's going to be a lot of game reviews coming from here till pretty much the end of the season, and I want to try and get some more things outside of just the games themselves. So that's where I'm seeing for this as well. Also, I do plan to do a Chicago Bulls weekly. Now, I kind of missed this week because it has been preseason, but maybe I will make that either today or tomorrow to give you an indication of whether you guys want to see that in the future or not, because I do plan to do game reviews, but not many people can watch Chicago Bulls videos every single Bulls game day. It becomes, for some people, it becomes very difficult to do, and I don't want to be someone that's difficult to watch, or I have to watch at this certain time to see it and things like that. So I will try to do a Bulls weekly one as well if you guys want to see that. But enough about that. That's the news, that's the future that I wanted to talk about. Please, if you do have any questions you'd like to ask me, leave it in the replies of that comment that I will put up. And I'd love to see what your guys' thoughts on the NBA is so far. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the movement going. But talking about the news, first things first, I want to talk a little bit about some injury updates for the Chicago Bulls. And there's some good things here and there's some bad things here. Now, as you guys are aware of, a lot of the Bulls players in the preseason, especially towards our bench, unfortunately did not get that much game time, anything in the preseason really. A lot of our bench had excused absences, had injury concerns, and obviously had the virus. Well, there are still a few things to keep in touch with that onto the regular season. Not everything has been resolved. We're not going to have our full complete team at the beginning of the regular season, and we're going to have to work twice as hard to make sure that our team will be ready and can push on while we still have a few players out. So the big positive, I think, in this video that I want to talk about is Garrett Temple. Now, Garrett Temple was the player, the individual that did have the virus, and thankfully now he looks like he's okay. It looks like he's fine. He's back in training. He's back training competitively with our players. He is in scrimmages. He's in all these things that the Bulls are doing right now in their training, and that is perfect to see. He should be back for the start of the regular season, which is only a few days away now, unless there are any minor setbacks for him, which I doubt there will be, because again, veteran players know how to keep themselves in shape for the most part. I feel like Garrett Temple will be a perfect addition off this bench. He seems very versatile. He can make a shot, and I think he's a very intelligent player, and he's a good teammate overall. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be excited about this. I'm so happy that he is going to be back. Again, you could tell that our bench is really, really working hard to become a better bench, and that will work out with better players as well. We seem to have the game plan in place. We seem to have the coaching style in place to make all of our players players slightly better this year, but with better players comes a better bench. And I think Garrett Temple will definitely add something to this bench that I feel like we do not have at this time. Moving on to a little bit more of a negative news story today. Thaddeus Young seems like he will not be ready for the regular season at this point in time. He is still dealing with a left knee infection, I believe. Apparently, this knee infection is could potentially be severe. And that is very, very worrying. Look, I heard stories about these knee infections. I watched a video earlier today from inside the Chicago Bulls talking about how Thaddeus Young was doing interviews and saying that this left knee infection could have ended Grant Hill's career, I believe, or something like that. And that is obviously something that you do not want to see on your team. Again, the player comes first in this area. If it's a very severe knee infection, that could potentially damage his basketball career and ultimately his livelihood as a man and as a basketball player and with his family and everything. I feel like it's obviously player first, so get well soon to Thaddeus Young. I'm not sure. It seems like he's still going to be fine. I think he did some training today, physical training, but he won't be back for the start of the regular season, and I just hope that everything works out perfectly fine. There is no setbacks for him either, and he can return when he's full and ready to return, when he's fit and ready. And that's the thing with Thaddeus Young. Moving on to more injury news, I guess. Denzel Valentine, I believe, is someone that I think will be back for the regular season. There's not major news. Again, he was supposed to be back for the preseason, but the Bulls didn't want to risk him. I think Denzel Valentine should be back for the start of the season, which is good news again. Denzel Valentine is someone that I believe will get a lot of minutes on this bench, considering the Bulls did re-sign him to a one-year no-trade clause deal for $4 million. So I feel like the Chicago Bulls are going to do everything in their power to give him some minutes off the bench, because he kind of fits the situation where we're at. He's versatile. He can play 1 through 3. Defensively, he's a bit weak, but offensively, he's very, very strong. He's a very capable player on the offensive side. He can make a good pass. I think he fits what this team is trying to do. So he should be getting minutes, and hopefully he'll be ready. Again, preseason is very important. It's not because of the wins and the losses. It's because people can get fit. There's game time. There's game plans that are taken into consideration, taken into place. And unfortunately, Denzel Valentine has missed out on a lot of that, as has Garrett Temple, as has Thaddeus Young, and to an extent, Satoransky. So these are the things that we're going to have to work on in mid-season, regular season, to try and perfect. And that is something that could end up being a disadvantage for us heading into it. But again, I'm very happy that Denzel Valentine should be fit. Again, the more numbers that we have, the better. We're going to be in a very, very weird season where multiple players will end up missing time in every different position, from starters to bench. So we're going to need a lot of numbers, a lot of depth, a lot of quality. And I feel like Denzel Valentine coming into the lineup is only going to be a big plus as well. That's all the injury news I believe I have to talk about today. Satoransky is still in an excused absence. I'm not sure what's happening with Satoransky, but hopefully everything's okay with that. He only played one preseason game in our very first one against the Houston Rockets. Got my player of the game in that match, but ultimately, I'm not really sure what's happening with Satoransky. So until we get more updates on that, I'm just going to say that hopefully everything is fine, and hopefully he works out well and comes back to the Chicago Bulls as soon as he can once again. Moving on to the big news of today, and I think this is the news that most people will probably be aware of at this time. Yesterday, I made a video about Lauri Markkanen and how Lauri Markkanen is not close to an extension with the Chicago Bulls. Well, today seems to be the deadline, ladies and gentlemen, and the deadline has well and truly passed, and there has been no extension for Lauri Markkanen's contract. So what does that mean? Again, if you want more details on how I explain this, please check out my last Chicago Bulls video about Lauri Markkanen and the latest Chicago Bulls news. But ultimately, the biggest thing here is that he will become a restricted free agent, which means other teams in free agency can look to give Lauri Markkanen a massive payday. So the Chicago Bulls are doing a wait-and-see approach with Lauri Markkanen. Again, I reckon that the Bulls tried to offer a little bit too less, and Lauri Markkanen wanted a bit too much, and that's just where the differences collided, and we didn't get an extension for Lauri Markkanen. So the Bulls now have to wait and see just exactly what is going to happen with Lauri Markkanen. Is he going to have a good year? Is he going to have a down year? Is he going to have a mixed year? And assess the evaluation of how much they're looking to spend while also competing with other teams. It's going to be a big year for Lauri Markkanen and the Chicago Bulls. Lauri Markkanen needs to work on trying to get as much money as he can, and the Bulls need to try and figure out how to get him without spending the absolute max, which I don't think will happen. He's not getting a max contract, but definitely a lot of money can be spent on Lauri Markkanen in this restricted free agency period. So that is still something we need to wait and see about. Again, there is more about this that meets the eye. I'm not sure the whole story. This is coming from Shams, by the way, so that is where I got that news from. And of course, that is going to be the end of the Chicago Bulls quick update video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Once again, if you are kept up to all the way through to this video, if you have a question for a future Q&A video, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them as soon as we get enough questions to discuss. It's going to be very interesting to see, because I actually did do this a few months back, my very first one, but I think at that time I had around 90 subscribers, so I've nearly tripled, or I don't know maths, but hopefully that's right. I've gained a lot of subscribers is what I'm trying to say since then, and hopefully more people will bring more interaction. And again, all I want is to have some interaction on this channel, to have many people commenting as whatever they like, really, and let's just see exactly where that goes and takes us into the future. With that being said, have a wonderful day to all Chicago Bulls and NBA fans. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. I do have a weekly Chicago Bulls that I would like to do. Hopefully they'll come out tomorrow, if not later tonight. And of course, I do have other videos I want to do before the regular season. So we have a lot to do in a space of 2 days. So there might be a few videos that come out left, right, and center. Maybe I'll hold back on some of them, but we wait and see. With that being said, have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.